Yeah, I will say that the youth is not involved in politics mostly because can I say the old generation?
Yeah.
The old generation or the system actually managed to discourage the youth to participate in politics. Just looking at an example here, Fees Must Fall. After Fees Must Fall, there was a lot of intimidation. There was a lot of youth actually saying, nah, I ain't getting me because they were victimized. A lot of youth were victimized for actually saying their voice, for actually doing demanding that free education that was promised to us from the Freedom Charter. So I feel like the system constantly discourages the youth actually to take part in politics. And also the political parties are not making it better because most of the time we don't have a space and a voice within those political parties. Because my brother, you can't tell me we have a party, the party has a youth league, but the youth league's voice is actually like 1%. Whatever the youth league says most of the time doesn't really reflect to the party itself, because the party at the end of the day will take decisions. They will just come and bribe you and say, no, education, we are looking at it, and as fast. And the worst thing is that they are also slowly reversing the gains of all these things, Fees Must Fall and everything. So I feel like the youth has been constantly discouraged to actually take part in politics because of various things. No, if you fight, they're gonna share you guys. So I feel like
I think for me, I'm gonna speak for myself, and I think this is also the way things are shifting over time. I only recently got a bit more interested in politics, and I think it's sort of changing in terms of like now we're learning a bit more, because I think it helps a lot with like those content creators that sort of simplify the stuff, like your Dan Quarters, because I think part of the reason I started following is creators like him actually sitting down and breaking down what's happening and what's going on. So I think I personally feel like it's getting better and it's only gonna get better. I don't think it's gonna happen overnight, definitely, but then I think it's just a process. We're in the process of improvement, because I feel like soon like certain political ideas are gonna become a bit more common knowledge, I think. Which even me as myself, as I learn and it gets simplified, it's easier to sort of engage more.
So to answer your question with regards to the contribution of the all-round results, I think we must also try and be objective in the sense that one question won't be enough for us now to connect dots or to connect the puzzle of what is this mystery with regards to youths not being interested, or rather youths being, as you're saying, apolitical. So is it the youth's responsibilities to just wake up and become politically driven, especially if the history of South Africa from 1994 for the most part will determine, as a fact, we are even approaching statistics that were there during apartheid. When you look at the degree or the level of inequality we have now, it's those who are going back to apartheid time. So we can ask a question to say, how do I benefit from being interested in politics? Is it the youth's fault, or is it the politicians' fault? What are they doing with regards to political education? What are they doing with regards to community building? Let's forget the rhetoric part, but let's also look at community building as well. So these are key fundamental questions. You must realize people are angry and people are also hungry. So what's my point of wasting my time going to something that's just gonna maybe benefit me during elections? Afterwards, I know they won't give me food anymore because they don't really need a vote from me rather. So there's no real incentive for them to go out of their way to come to my community, buy us food, speak to us and stuff. They'll go wherever they stay. Most of these leaders, even if you look, they're not from the communities where we come from. So there's also a question of, do people relate to their leaders, in particular the youth? They say a person who has a leader, you've never seen them in their hood, jig on the ballot, they're running for the what councillor in your ward. So there are fundamental questions we need to ask to say, is it just the folly of the youth, or must we actually make the people who must account, which are these political individuals who are getting so much funding, and some of the funding entails them going continuously and consistently to their constituencies? Do they actually do that? Are people, maybe the question should be, are people, not just the youth, able to relate to their leaders? So June 16 to me, politically first, let me break it down and unpack it politically. Politically is a day I resonate with so much because I'm able to see the weight, the strength, the courage, and the energy young people have, and how it can be channeled or directed properly with a proper goal and a proper agenda. So young people must seek inspiration to say whenever they're pushing agendas, they must be progressive agendas, directed, coordinated, and well thought of. That's what I see, or what I derive from June 16 politically as a day of particular relevance of some sort. However, when I look at it socially, it's become more symbolic because I'm not seeing the gains of June 16, because I feel like year in and year out, beginning of the year, somewhere during the course of the year, now it fits during July, when some students have been excluded because of major exclusions and whatnot, not based off academic, sometimes even financial, to say they still haven't covered their fees and so forth. So the point I'm getting to is, I have not really seen the gains of June 16 socially. But politically, I respect them, especially the will, the courage of the people who even created this whole day at the June 16 uprising. So those people I can respect, but socially, it's not a day I can say, I'm happy about, I'm proud of. It's just a symbolic day that will just come every year. I know on the 16th of June it's supposed to be a holiday, literally. That's what the day has resulted to for me and for some of those around me, because like, oh, June 16, let's relax, and that's where it ends.
June 16, the Soweto uprising. No, it means a lot for me. It means renewal, it means revival. Revival in a sense of we get to actually go back to see who's okay. Look. And they were younger students than us, actually. It was high school students. High school students were actually able to be mobilized and actually take on a brutal apartheid regime that carried guns and rifles and dogs. And a lot of people died. They died for a cause that they believe in. They believed it was their right to actually get the education system that they deserved. So why can't Nati believe it's our right to actually take on the system and say we deserve this thing? We do away with the commodifying of education. We can't have education commodified while we are poor black students. Asina mali, honest. So I'm hoping for other youth people see June 16 as that revival. That's ulanza amandla, sibita kanjalo mina ngibuya khona eMpumalanga. Ulanza amandla. We go to be inspired. So that's what June 16 means for me. That's why the commemoration of June 16 is actually important in bringing all these conversations, in bringing youth together. No, youth, what's happening? How are we coming out from here? Because honestly, I would be disappointed if our youth now and then we have nothing to show. The system, but what did we do? Yeah, but
I mean, to be honest, like, I think for a long time to me it was just about like the events, the partying, the going out. Like, I thought of it as a day to not go to school, obviously, and then to go out with my friends. And there's always going to be events on the 16th. But then I think the one time I did go to the museum, the like I actually started learning a bit more about the story, and I felt so connected a bit more to it. So ever since then, I think my perspective of it changed. Not to say it's like on the day I feel like I should make a change though, but like it's not just group. It still is group. I'm gonna go out. I'm not gonna lie. But then at the same time, I think I understand that it's more than that. It's for the sacrifices a lot of these people did. You know, and watching even the other day when I watched, I think the Solomon Mahlangu movie, I was like, okay, like there's actually a lot more. It's stuff like this that makes me appreciate the day even more. You know.